So this was the test which you attempted in the previous lecture, and
Yes.
this is question number 1 based on true or false. So the first question is, if any of the RGBA values is out of range 0 to 255, then JavaScript throw an error. So the answer which you had given, I think it was false or true.
I think, sir, I give true.
So you had written
Yes.
true. This is not the correct answer here, because if you'll pass any value greater than 255 for any of these components, whether it is R, G, B or A is for alpha, by the way. Okay, so
Yes.
JavaScript is not going to throw any error. It will accept that value. But the only thing is, if suppose you are passing 300 for anything, for this red, suppose you have passed 300. So it will round off that value to 255. Okay, and it will finally accept that value. So this one is not correct. Fine. And Aranya's answer is correct. Let's now come on this B part. There are only 3 types of charts available on JavaScript platform by default. So what is your answer? Both of you have written false.
False.
Now why you guys have written false? Can you tell me that? It's because there are 4 types of charts which are available to us on a JavaScript platform. One is the bar chart, then it is a line chart, and
Line.
after that we have got what what other chart we have on this JavaScript platform on code.org? Bar, line, then one is scatter, I know, and the fourth
Scatter.
one is pie chart. So these are the four charts which are available to us on that code.org JavaScript platform. Fine. So the correct answer of this one is false. You both of you have correctly answered this question. Let's now come on the C part, which is there are 2 errors in this code. So is this a statement true or false? That's what you guys were supposed to tell.
False.
So this statement is false. Absolutely right, because there is no error in this code. Why? Because this is a list type of
Yes.
variable which we have defined,
Yes.
which I have defined over here, and there is no error. So it is correctly defined, and that's the reason I am giving you full 1 marks for this. Acha, I need to give you 1 mark for this also, no? Both of you have correctly answered
Yes.
this one. Yeah.
Both. Yes.
Let's now come on this D part. So D part is we can use counter variables for fetching more than one items from the tables present on the data browser connected to the app. So the answer of this should be true or false. What you have written? You have written true. Why you have written true, dear?
True.
It should be false, no? We require list type of variables. If you want to fetch more than one items from a table, then for that you require a list type of variable, no? How can you do it with the help of this counter variable? It is not possible for us to do it with the help of counter variable. Okay, so this one is not correct. Where is that? Yeah, so D part is I think Laranya has answered it correctly and you haven't answered it correctly. Let's now come on the C part, no problem. Clear timeout clears an existing. Just a second. What is happening to this? Let me just put this meeting again on sharing mode now. Yeah, now it is working fine. So E part is clear timeout clears an existing timer by passing in the numeric value returned by set timeout. So you have written true and Laranya has also written true. Now you guys tell me whether is any block like this available on code.org in Applab? I don't think that any such blog is available on the score.org platform to us. Let's check it out. So I am going to let's open an app on this.
There is a blog. I have also used it in my app.
It is clear timeout. Timeout is in brackets over here. So right now, it is working as a parameter, and clear is the function. Clear is the name of the function, or you can say the name of the block. Is there any such block available to us here in this control section? It is clear timeout, and this whole thing is a function. Fine, and there is nothing inside this bracket. So its answer should be false. Okay, there is no such function available to us on this code.org platform. It was a tricky question, you can say that. Fine, so the correct answer of
Yes.
this one is false. Fine, before you answer any question, read it properly first. Okay, in the test also I told you the same thing, that you have to go through the questions properly. Question number 2 was based on multiple choice question, and the first part is a series of dependent drop down list controls in which one drop down list control depends on the parent or previous drop down controls. So it is, the correct answer of this
Cas-
one is cascading drop down
Cascading
list.
drop down
Okay,
list.
we have made use of this in many apps. Then comes the B part, which is what is the records in below code. So this was a code, and you were supposed to identify this records. What is this records? Is it a type of variable? Is it a type of function? Is it a type of collection, or is it a type of component? So what you guys
It's a
have
type
written
of
over here?
collection.
It's a type of collection, okay. And Arnav, you have written that it's a type of function. I'm really sorry, dear, both of you are not correct. It's a type of variable name, because here this is a function, okay. And I have told
But
you many times, in when
but
we
sir, in the records, all the records are saved in this variable record. So
we
it
all
should
the
be a
records,
collection
we
name.
all the records are not saved in this variable. They are not saved in this variable. We make use of this records for pulling, for fetching the values from a particular table. Fine, this is not a function, it's a variable name. It's a name of a variable with which we can fetch items from a table. Fine, so this is not correct. Now let's come on the C part, which is in JavaScript, append item is a. What is append item? So you have written property for creating drop down list. Acha, both of you have written property for creating drop down list. Is it so? A type of method, property for creating drop down list. Can we create this drop down list with the help of this append item? I don't think so. I don't think that we can, create what we call drop down list with the help of this method. It's a type of method, why I'm calling it a type of method, because if you will write a double p, automatically this append item is going to come like this over here. So here what is written, what is getting reflected in this blue box, append the item to the end of the array. It's a type of function, my dear. See, these brackets are coming now after this append item, so it means that it's a type of function. Fine, so it's a type of method. This is a correct answer. What you guys have written over here, it's not correct. Let's now come on this D part, which is a way to declare and initialize a list type of variable. So how can we declare and initialize a list type of variable? Out of these four options, you were supposed to select one, and what you have selected, Larania, it is var x, okay, and you have selected var l dot ist equal to itna. So which one of these two is correct? Rania, do you think that this one is correct? Let's do one thing. Let's copy this code, and I'm going to run it on this app lab for you. Let's see whether it is going to give me an error or not. Larani, I'm getting an error. Are you able to see this error over here, dear? Larania, are you able to see this error over here, dear? Your voice is not audible.
Sir, I
Yes,
can
sir.
see another.
You guys are able to see an error now. Why we are getting an error over here? Because it's a case sensitive thing. Okay, this declaration part, we guys are making use of this var part for declaring this variable, right? So it is case sensitive, and we need to make it, the v should be small. It should not be in capital letters. That's why we were getting an error. So this is the proper way of declaring a variable. Now there is no such option present over here. If you will come on the second option, you'll get to see that v of this var is in capital. So this is also not correct. Now, what is the correct option out of these two? Is this the correct one? Let's copy this code and check out whether it is going to give us the right output or not. So I am pasting it here. Again, it is giving me an error. Why is it giving me an error? Because it doesn't accept this dot. It is not accepting this dot which we have placed in between this L and I. It's a type of variable, and JavaScript doesn't accept variable names like this in which you place such things in between the variable names. Now, if you will replace it with underscore, you are definitely going to get the right output. See, it has accepted this input. So what is the right answer of this? The right answer of this one is this part. Okay, these types of question you get to see when when you'll give some competition, and these type of questions are definitely going to come in that. Remember this thing. So for now, I will not be able to give you any marks for this. Let's now come on this E part, which is sets a timer and executes code when the number of milliseconds has elapsed. So you guys have written, Larania has written set timeout, and Arnav, you have chosen timed loop. Now, what is the correct out of these two options? Is it set timeout or is it timed loop with which we can do it? Sets a timer and executes code when the number of milliseconds has elapsed. It is not set timed out. Okay, let me just show it to you. If you'll come over here, fine. What is written over here? Set a timer and execute code when that number of. It is set timeout, right? It is set timeout, which is the correct option. So I am going to give Laranya full marks for this. And timed loop, we don't use timed loop for that. Okay. F part is executes a block of statements a certain number of times depending on the initialization expression, conditional expression, and increment expression. So what have you written for this? All the above. Why you guys have written all the above? Why you have written all the above? Because there are three parts which I have mentioned over here. One is the initialization part, second is the conditional part, and third is the increment part. So how with which loop can we define all these things in one go? We can do it with the help of this for loop, no? How can you do it with the help of this if loop or while loop? You remember, if you'll put this for loop over here, so there are three parts. One is this part where I am declaring and initializing this variable I. Second is this condition part, and third is the part where I'm incrementing the value of I by something. Okay, so the correct answer of this one is for loop. It is not if loop or all the above. So for this also, I'll not be able to give you guys any marks. Let's now come on this G part. Is a part of UI controls of Applab's toolbox. So what is the correct option out of these four? You have chosen
RGB.
RGB. Absolutely right. RGB is the correct option. RGB, just a second. Is there? Yeah. Let's now come on this H part. What is the output this code is going to give? So what is the output it is going to give? What you have chosen, Larania? It's 10, and you have also written 10. I'm going to give you 1 mark for this. First of all, why? Because all the 4 options are incorrect over here. Fine. Now let's run this code and check what is the output it is going to give us. Are you able to see the output over here on this mobile simulator? 10,
Yes,
9,
sir.
8, 7, 6. Why is it giving us this output? Because initially the value of I is equal to 10. Okay. So after this, the compiler of this platform is going to check this condition, whether 10 is greater than 0 or not. And if the condition is true, it will come inside the for loop and print the value of I, that is 10. Once it is done with printing the value of I, it will again go on this for loop. But instead of going here, it will come here on this part. Now here what is happening? I minus minus. It will decrease the value of I by 1. And now the value of I is 9. Is 9 greater than 0? Yes, 9 is greater than 0. So the condition is true. That's why it is going to come inside this for loop and print the value of I. That is the reason we are able to see 9 over here. And likewise, it will go on printing the value of I uh, till the time this condition is false for any value. So once the value reaches to 1, so now here once the value reaches to 0, so what will happen? This condition will become false for the value 0 of I, and the compiler will come out of this for loop. Okay, that is the reason we are able to see the numbers from 10 to 1. You're not able to see 0 over here. Now let's come on this I part. Have I given you marks for this or not? Okay, I am done with giving you the marks for this part. Let's now come on this I part, which is using Applab's table data storage, draws a chart of the provided chart type in screen element, chart ID using data from columns retrieved from the table name. So what have you guys given? Yeah, both of you are correct. It is draw chart from records, and we guys have made use of this in one of the lectures also, where I taught you about, I think it was student teachers app in which we made use of this. J part is, what is the code going to print? So what is this code going to print for us? Let's do one thing. Let's copy this code and run it in this Applab. Okay, and see what it is going to print. So what it has printed over here on this mobile simulator? High coding. Why it has printed high coding? Because here this part is going to print for us this thing. So high is coming first, and after that get text ID. So the component with ID, in this the text is coding. So first of all, this write is going to print for us high, and after that it is going to print for us this coding. Okay, so that is the reason the correct answer of this will be high coding. So Laranya, you have given the right answer for this. Let's now come on the K part, which is dash code is used for accessing an external website on JavaScript platform. So it is open URL. The correct answer of this one is open URL. So this one is correct, or this fourth one is correct? Which one is correct? Laranya, which? Okay, both of you have chosen this one. You both are correct. Okay, let's now come on this L part, which is block that can be used for accessing the content from an external website on an app made on code.org. If you want to access some data from the external website on your code.org platform, so which block can you make use of? You have written start web request, and you have written start web content. Can you guys tell me where have we made use of this thing? Is there anything we have is there anything related to this we have studied till date in any of the lectures? Can you guys recall and tell me in which lecture have we studied this thing? Accessing the content from an external website on an app made on code.org. Yes, Larani and Arnav, am I audible to you guys or not? You guys are not responding. Why?
Yes, sir.
Larani, am I audible to you, dear? Larani, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Why you're not putting yourself on mute? Why you have put yourself on mute? I'm asking you a question and you're not responding. Why is it so? Yes, in which lecture have we discussed, have we used this start web request? It was a lecture in which I taught you
Fun
about how
facts.
can you generate that is absolutely right. Fun facts related to numbers. So in that we made use of start web request. It is the correct option. Sorry, Arnav, this is not the correct one, dear. This is absolutely right. M part. which is facility available in Applab powered by Microsoft Azure AI. So it is play speech. You both are absolutely right. Fine, now let's come on this end part, which is set property width works on all design mode element except. So you can set this property width for all the elements, but there is one
Sir,
element.
screen.
Absolutely right. We cannot set the width of screen. Okay, now let's come on this O part, which is what can this code do? What can this code do? You guys have written, acha, make the code.org blink and show the code.org logo. Let's do one thing. Let's copy this whole code and put it over here and see what it is going to give us as an output. It is a blinking logo which we are able to see over here on this mobile simulator. Why this image is blinking? It's because of this hide element property, and after that we have made use of this set timeout property. Okay, inside the set timeout property we have again defined the show element. So because of this hide and show, this element is blinking. It's because of these two blocks which we have made use of over here. Okay, so